You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Bold and Beautiful fans. So Steffy just hit Hope with the awful news that Liam is dying. And soon, Steffy's going to give Hope all the sad details about the tumor in his brain. And this storyline may pivot soon and turn into more than just Liam's life and death crisis. It may turn into a crisis of conscience for Hope Logan, one that she has frankly needed for quite a while. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and let's talk about how Liam's death sentence may turn Hope back into a good girl and set the stage for her redemption, although I do kind of like bad Hope. But hey, before we get into it, please click subscribe if you're not following us. All right, so over the last couple of years, since Hope kissed Thomas back in June 2023, we have been watching her slowly morph from a good girl with morals into kind of a bad girl, kind of hitting her stride, stepping into a villain era, It didn't happen all at once, but it started with her fantasizing about Thomas, even when she was getting frisky with Liam. It was so dodgy. Hope went then from being secretly hot for Thomas to actually kissing him in Rome. And of course, that caused Hope's marriage to Liam to implode. And from there, Hope started hooking up with Thomas and they became a real couple. But, if you think about it, it definitely in the end looked like Hope was stringing Thomas along. Depends on who you ask. The Forresters definitely looked at Hope as kind of a villainess who manipulated Thomas. And, he really wanted to marry her. And Hope said she wasn't ready for that step. But if you ask Steffy or Ridge, well, they would tell you Hope was using Thomas and leading him on. Steffy believed it so strongly that she convinced Thomas to just walk away from her and LA and America. And in the end, Hope lost Thomas. And then she moved on to that really sketchy crush on Finn, where she was fantasizing about Steffy's husband and then making plays for him. And that diabolical attempt by Hope to steal Steffy's man fed into the next relationship disaster they queued up for Hope Logan. As far as Steffy and Ridge were concerned, Hope went from using Thomas to targeting Finn to using Carter, because Hope and her insta love for Carter happened conveniently to coincide with him trying to save her doomed line Hope for the future. And even if Hope wasn't operating with ulterior motives consciously, the optics are bad. And the thing is, Hope might have used Carter and just didn't even consciously realize she was doing it, because Hope was definitely being villainous when she encouraged Carter to steal FC. And then Hope was rubbing it in Ridge and Steffy's faces and acting like she was the new queen of the company that they had stolen. And that was the point when Hope really seemed to break bad, especially once Carter started to feel guilty and wanted to give the company back, because Hope kind of got power hungry and basically told Carter, no, you're not giving the company back. But he did it anyway, and then Hope dumped him. Again, very bad optics, makes her look villainous. And it kind of reconfirmed Ridge and Steffy's opinion, Eric too, that she was using Carter. But finally, we're starting to see some cracks where Hope mentioned that she is starting to see that she and Hope might have done something wrong. She's not totally admitting it, but Hope is definitely leaning in the right direction. So after the Carter Forrester Creations coup, even her own mom, Brooke, flipped out because Hope wouldn't take responsibility for her actions and, was pressing Carter to steal Forrester Creations. Right now, Hope is the bad guy to a lot of people on that soap, but things are shifting, and it's all because of Liam's medical crisis. For a minute there, it looked like Hope may have embraced her inner bad girl and just wanted revenge. That might have been a really soapy, fun way to go, but with Liam's brain tumor tumor terrifying her, this could be just the wake-up call that Hope needs to make big, big changes in her life. Steffy just dropped the bomb on Hope that Liam's dying because basically he couldn't bring himself to tell her. So Hope is starting to process this awful news about Liam, and it might totally change the trajectory that her life was on. You know, Hope recently admitted to Deacon that everything in her life started falling apart when she and Liam broke up. And of course, now Deacon's pressing Hope to reunite with Liam. He is even trying to sell Brooke on the idea that Carter is no good for her and Liam is the one that's meant for Hope. And we did see Deacon getting Hope to listen. But then Liam started pressuring her to reunite with Carter. But of course, we know Liam's only doing that because he's dying. Starting today, Hope has to face the horrible reality that Liam is dying and she and Beth are going to lose him forever. And all of that puts everything into perspective for Hope, and it already did the same for Steffy. And one step to Hope getting back to the sweet person she once was is for her and Steffy to end the war between them once and for all. Hope and Steffy should both agree to that. None of that petty stuff matters now. And of course, Hope and Steffy are going to be happier if they're not at each other's throats. Liam and Finn have put their issues behind them. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Liam becomes besties with Finn during this ordeal. It's all good stuff. And this might be a huge reality check for Hope that life is short and what matters are people in your life and how you treat them. She may swallow her pride, go to Ridge and Eric and apologize, which she should. And then Ridge should apologize for the way he talked to Hope and about her. That wasn't cool either. But, you know, honestly, Hope should start her apology tour with Steffy for lusting after Finn not that long ago. You know, she tried to steal Steffy's husband, and then she encouraged Carter to steal Steffy's company. So we should see Hope's focus turn to Liam, helping caretake him, preparing their daughter Beth for this terrible loss. We may soon see more of the old Hope coming out. The one we've known for years, the one with morals and standards, the one who does right even when it's hard. Because Liam is dying, this storyline may also kill this ruthless, power-hungry version of Hope that she was tiptoeing towards. You know, I'll say again, I do not think Bold is actually going to kill off Liam Spencer unless Scott Clifton asked to leave and he wanted to move on to something else and they decided to go there. But in the end, Liam probably is going to get a miracle. If it does happen and Hope's back to her old self, then she and Liam may reunite, put their family back together, all good things. So this tumor storyline could be a game changer that turns Liam from a waffler into a loyal one-woman man and puts an end to Hope's villain era and takes her from bad back to good. We'll see.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.